Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. So today we're going to be looking at paper 3 from the IGCSE course, and we are doing a May-June 2021 paper. We're going to be focusing on data analysis, which is spreadsheets, and we are doing variant 32. Okay, so let's scroll down to page, I think it's 6. Here we are, task 5, data analysis. So you are going to be using a spreadsheet to calculate the sales price of underwater cameras. All currency values must be in pounds to 2 decimal places. Okay. Right. Okay. So the first question is asking us to open a couple of files and then to examine the files. Okay. So we're going to open up this first file, J2132 camera.csv, and then we're going to open up the second file, which is J2132 house.csv, and we are using Microsoft Excel. So if you go to the source folder, you can have a look at the files. Okay, so looking at this, it's fairly obvious we are going to be using this for VLOOKUPs. Yeah. Okay, and the second file that we had to open up was this file here. And again, it also looks like we will be using this file for the VLOOKUP as well. Okay, so contains some codes, which could be the lookup value, and then the make and model of particular cameras. Okay, and we also have prices here as well. Okay, so that's the first part done. We've had a look at the files. Now what we're going to do is open up the next file, which ends in sales.csv. Okay, and in this file, we will be placing something in the header right aligned. So let's open up that file first of all. Okay, and it looks like in this file, we will be editing this file and we will be entering formulas. Okay, so first thing you should do is open up the columns to see what is in the cells. Okay, so you can see there's information about cameras and models. So I'm guessing right now we will be using VLOOKUPs to take information from the other sheets, these two sheets, okay, and that information will be placed into this sales spreadsheet. Okay, so yeah, it does say here these files will be used to provide data for the spreadsheet and must not be changed. Okay, to insert a header, if you can't see the icon, use the search bar. Okay, so header. In the top right, what we're going to include is prepared by. Oops, let me just get rid of that. Obviously, if you guys are doing the exams, you would have to write this in. Make sure you make no spelling mistakes, and if you see a capital letter or a colon, you also include that as well, because that will be a mark. Okay, so space. After that, your name, and then for center number, I will use 5678, and then candidate number 1234. Okay. In the exams, you refer to your specific details provided, not the numbers I'm giving right now. So let me write my name. Okay, center number, I said we'll use 5678, and then candidate number 1234. Anything else? Right aligned. So to get back to the normal view, you click on any cell, you go to view, and then normal. And right now you're probably thinking, where's my header gone? But it's fine. If you go to the print preview, you'll see the header appears on every page at the top. Okay, so if you are in the exam and you're printing with no name on, it's not going to come to you, and it can't be marked unless your name is on your pieces of work. So trust me, guys, it has happened in the past where people have been printing with no names on, and it's ended up going into the bin. So please double check your header is showing at the top. Okay, done. Data has been placed in cells B4 and B9 to test your model. So this is B4 and this is B9. So these are probably will be used for lookup items or lookup values later on. Okay. Now what we're going to do is save the spreadsheet with this specific file name. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. Okay, so make sure, guys, you do save as a spreadsheet. So if you go to File, Save As, The current format for this file is CSV. If you were to write your formulas in, and then if you closed it down, you would lose all of your formulas and functions. Okay, so please make sure you save your file as an Excel workbook into your source folder, and get into the habit of saving your work every so often, maybe 5-6 minutes. So sentence number, I said we will use 5, 6, 7, 8. And then for the candidate number 1, 2, 3, 4. So double check Excel workbook, great. And we can now start on the formatting part. So your spreadsheet is going to look like this, okay? First thing you should be looking for is how many marks are available. So 7 marks. So that's quite a lot of marks to pick up. I've done this exam now 2 times already, and I realized I made a mistake. And I'll tell you what I missed out initially, okay? The first cell here, you can see is merged across 2 columns, A and B. Okay, so format the merged cells A1 to B1 to contain black 36-point text on a pale blue background. So the text size is 36. So what we're going to do first of all is increase the size of this row, and maybe increase the column size as well, perhaps. Merge these 2 cells together, okay, and then increase the size of this text to 36. And if you look at this, you can see the text that's been wrapped. So photography comes underneath Marco. So what we can do is we can click on this option here to wrap the text. And it's still not shown in full. So what we need to do is increase the size of the columns and also the row. Now looking at this, guys, you can see this has been vertically aligned, or it's center aligned vertically as well. It's in the middle of the cell. So we can do that as well. We can click on the cell and then we can click on this option here to middle align, actually. The background color is going to be a pale blue. Okay, so that's that done. Actually, I made 2 mistakes the first time I did this. I forgot to resize the second row. So you'll see here the second row and the 7th row and the 12th row, the height has been changed. So I missed it the first time I did this exam paper, but obviously I'm going to do it now. So the second one, 7th row and the 12th row has been resized. And let's look now. So format the merged cells A3 to B3, so which is these 2 cells. A8, these 2 cells, and A13 and B13, which are these cells here, to contain an 18-point text on a pale blue background. But before we do that, let's merge these 3 cells. So A3 to B3, merge, and housing, so I think is A8, and package. Highlight all of these cells together. We can maybe format them at the same time. Yep, so it was blue. And was it 18? Yep. Okay, so we've almost done the formatting. The mistake I made last time, guys, was I forgot to align code, make, model, price, code, make, model, price to the right-hand side. So if you look at this, the formatting or the alignment is to the left. So these are the small details you need to pick out and pay attention to. There was something else I actually missed out the first time. Package total looks to be bold. And these headings are bold as well. Now, it doesn't mention anything about borders, but it looks like they have applied borders here. Okay, so we're also going to apply the borders to the Excel file. So let me put a border around here, border, border, and border. Okay, let me save the changes. And yeah, looking good. So before we move forward, let me double check. I think these titles, headings should be also be bold as well. So looking at this, let me make these headings bold. Yep, I think these are already bold. Yep, I think that should be an easy 7 marks that you should be picking up. So double check the sizes of your rows, decrease them if you have to, double check the alignment, and double check to see if anything should be bold as well. And obviously don't forget to include the blue background as well. So if you were printing this in the exam, make sure you're printing it using colors. Okay, so if it is printed in black and white, you're not going to see that blue background, and potentially you could lose the mark at that point. Okay, questions 11, 12, 13 and 14 all are going to be lookup questions. Okay, so for the first question, there's 5 marks, and then 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. It's basically going to be a bit of repetition. Okay, so this so far is relatively straightforward. Right, question 11, enter a function in cell B5. So where is B5? Let me double check. B5 is here. Okay, which depending on the camera code looks up the make and model of the camera from the file J2132 cameras. Okay, so we're going to look up this camera file. Okay, so what we're going to be using as a lookup is this code here. So it's dependent on the camera code. Okay, so we want the make and the model. So this is fairly straightforward. So equal the lookup. The lookup value is the code here, comma. The table array is on this sheet here. So you select the code and you go across to the second column because we're looking up the make and model. So I think the code was C004. So I'm expecting to see this as an output once we finish. So that's the table array. It's absolutely referenced, which means it's locked already. So no need to do anything at this point. We want to refer to the second column, and it's going to be an exact match, which basically means if we see this lookup value, we want this output here. Close the bracket, and yes, we got the right output. So that's that question done. In B6, which is the cell below, again, depending on the camera code, we now need to look up the price of the camera using the same table array. Okay, so bit of repetition. We're now going to look up the price using the same code and the same table array, which is here. And the price is in the 4th column. Are you all happy? Yeah, straightforward. Comma. So we want to refer to the 4th column and exact. And then enter. So what did it say about currency values at the start? So let me double check. Should be set to pounds to 2 decimal places. So we can format, do that now actually. So let me change the formatting. So right click, format cells, currency, 2 decimal places, but let's select the pound sign. There we go, United Kingdom, done. Okay, let me save the changes. Okay, right. We're going to do the next 2 VLOOKUPs as well. So in B10 and B11, which are basically these 2 cells here, we're going to be looking up now this housing code using the housing CSV file. So let's go ahead and read the question first. So in B10, so enter a function in cell B10, which depending on the housing code, looks up the make and model of the housing. But this time we're using this housing.csv file. Okay, so we want to make a model again. So equal VLOOKUP, this code here, comma, let's go to the correct CSV file, this one here, and we want to go to the 3rd column to get the make and model. So comma, column index, we refer to the 3rd column of what we highlighted. Again, it's going to be an exact match. Okay, and now the price. So the price is B11. So basically what we need to do is, yeah, so in this cell here, again, we're going to look up the housing code to look up the price of the housing from the same file. Okay, so in B11, look up the housing code for the price from the same file. Okay, so there's only 1 marks available for these questions because you're pretty much doing the same thing as what you did previously. Okay, so equals VLOOKUP. Okay, so we're looking up this cell here. Let's go to the table array. And we want to go to the 5th column now. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if you highlight from top to bottom or bottom to top. That doesn't really make a difference. So that's the table array, the 5th column, and it's going to be an exact match. Okay, format it to currency again, and we are done with that part. So I think so far the paper is relatively straightforward. Nothing complicated about this paper right now. It will get a little bit complicated as we go forward towards the end questions. Okay, so question 15, did I save my work? Let me double check, or let me just press save. The last thing you want is your computer to crash and you've lost all your work. Okay, so enter a formula in cell B14 to calculate price of both the camera and the housing. So we're just going to enter a formula, not a function. So that's your first clue. So we want both prices. Okay, so these 2 prices here. So it's a simple formula equals this cell here plus this cell here. Okay, done. Now I think it gets a little bit tricky. And you can see there's 5 marks for the next question. Okay, enter a formula in cell B15 to show the discount percentage that will be applied. Okay, use the package price to extract the figure from the discounts table. So where's the discounts table first of all? The discounts table is this table here. Okay, and the package price. Okay, whoops. So the price is going to be this cell here. So depending on the price will depend on how much discount we get. If the price is less than 500, we get no discount. If the price is not less than 500, but obviously less than 800, so in between these 2 values, we get 4%. Okay, so it's going to be a nested if statement, guys. So equal if the price is less than 500, there's no need to lock because we're not dragging this formula down. If that's true, then that's the discount amount. Okay, comma, if. So we're checking again the price to see if it's less than 800. In this case, it is true because it was 730. And if that's true, always follow the formula, then that's going to be the percentage. Right now, these are not formatted to a percentage, and that's something we'll have to do in a minute. Okay. If that wasn't true, we would check for the next condition. This is now less than this cell. Okay, comma, and if that's true, 6%. So if it's not 0%, 4%, or 6%, then it has to be 10%. So let me just click on that cell. And you can see which cells have been used in this formula. We've opened up 1, 2, 3 brackets. We can close the brackets. Done. And we got 4%. But right now, this is not displayed in a percentage format. So what we can do is we can divide this by 100 to display 4 as percentage now. So 0.04 is basically 4%. Yeah. Okay. So now that we've done that, let me save my work actually, because I want to lose my hard work I've done so far. We're going to enter a formula in cell B16 to calculate the discount amount to be applied, which is the package price multiplied by the discount percentage. Okay, so that's the discount percentage, that's the price, the package price. We need to multiply these 2 values to work out the discount amount. Okay, and £29.20 is the discount. If you have done this, if you didn't change that to a decimal, you probably would have ended up doing this, guys. This times 4, and that's obviously not the discount amount, is it? Okay, so that's why we had to divide the output of the if statement, the nested if statement, by 100. It didn't ask us, but we have to apply some common sense. So we have the price here, we have the discount amount, and I'm guessing the next question is going to be a subtraction, which it is. Okay, so enter formula in cell B17 to subtract the discount amount from the package amount. So it's going to be a simple formula equals this minus this. Okay, and that's the new price, £700 and 80 pence. Okay, save changes. And right now, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting and a little bit complicated, guys. So we have to pay attention to this question. It's only worth 4 marks. So if you do struggle and you find it difficult, then you can leave it out. Or if you want to attempt it, you have plenty of time, then go ahead. Right. The user enters a code for the camera and a code for the housing. Okay. So right now, just for my reference, I'm going to highlight these codes here. So there's a code for the camera and there's a code for the housing. I'm going to get rid of these colors later, but just for now, we'll leave that as it is. Okay. Enter a formula in cell A19, sorry, to display an appropriate error message if the camera code, the housing, does not match the code entered by the user. Okay, that's probably confusing right now. What do we have to do? So let me click on A19 first, because this is where we're going to be entering the formula. Okay, so we want to check to see if the camera code and the housing matches. Okay, if there's not a match, then we need to produce an error message to say that doesn't match. Okay, so right now the camera code is C004 and the housing code is H007. If I go to this sheet here, so if the housing code is H007, the matching camera code is C004. So what we have here is a match. This matches, so there should be no error message. But let's say, for example, if the housing code was H007 and the camera code was something different here, 9, for example, do we have a match? Okay, so if I go back to here, where's it gone? H007 does not match up with the right code. Okay, so if there's not a match, we need to produce an error message. Okay, so what I'm going to do is change that back to what it was, and it's going to be an if statement. Hopefully, once I've done this formula, it should make sense. Okay, so if this cell here does not match the output of this next VLOOKUP, then we're going to have an error message. Okay, so this basically means not, the less than, more than. So this is not the same as the output of this VLOOKUP. So let me type in VLOOKUP. So we're going to look up this code here, comma, the table array is here. Oops, where's it gone? Okay, comma to an exact match. Let me close the bracket. So this is basically an if statement, and this is the logical test, guys. We're checking to see B4 if it's not the same as the output in this second column. So, for example, what was in B4 right now? We know it was C004, and it is the same. Right now, it's the same. But if it's not the same, and if it's true, we're going to have an error message. Do we have to write anything specific? So camera code does not match. Camera code does not match. Okay, so that's if it's true. Okay, in this case it's not true. Okay, the codes do match. So if the codes do match, then we can just return a blank space. We can close the bracket and press enter, and we have a blank space, which is what I expected. Now, if I change the code here to any other number, you can see we have the error message, because now if I look at this value here, if I go to here, so H007, the camera code for that is C004. It doesn't match with what we have now, and that's now produced the error code. Okay, so that is the more difficult part. That is the challenging aspect of this paper, using the if and the not and if you look up. But I'm hoping that's made a bit of sense. I'm going to get rid of these colors now, guys, because we don't need to have these colors. Okay, right now we've got the blank space. Save changes. Okay, we've done that. I've already applied appropriate formatting to column B. Let me double check something up here. Yeah, so I've applied the pound signs. I've saved the spreadsheet, and now it's time to print off the formulas. So if I go to formulas here, guys, this is really important you do this. Is that a good thing? Are we okay to print this formula off as it is? Probably not, because you can't see half of it. So when you are printing your formulas, double check you can see the full formulas in full. Row and column headings have to be shown. Okay, and the contents of all cells are fully visible and can easily be read. So to print off the formulas, you go to File, Print. Okay. Let me fit this to one page, fit sheet to one page. Let me double check, is it the whole thing that needs to be printed? Yeah. And what I'm going to do is print it to a landscape orientation. Okay, so I think that should be fine. We can see the formulas there. If you're not happy, then you can go to custom scaling options. Maybe you can fit the 2 pages wide. So let's see what happens there. So maybe that's a bit better. So you can see the formulas on this page and then a table on that page. So it's up to you. Do not be specific. So now what we need to include is the row and column headings as well. So sheet. So normally when you do print off the formulas, you do include the row and column headings, so the letters and the numbers. So we can go ahead and we can print, make sure everything is fully visible. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Double check your printouts when you receive them. Right, so that's that done. Okay, the next printout is going to be showing the values. Prints on a single page, so now they are being specific about having it on a single page. So these are the values here, not the formulas, guys. So print. Row and column headings are not displayed, so we can take that off. So first of all, let's fit sheet to one page. And let's take off the row and column headings. And we're almost done. And here's all of the values. Okay. My details appear in here as well, the header details as well. Okay. Right. Is there anything else left to do? Let me double check. Yeah, last question. We just need to change the data that we have in this spreadsheet. It's the modular spreadsheet for a customer who wishes to buy a camera C013. So C013. Okay, and the housing is going to be H025. H025, and you can see we've got to change the camera code now does not match, so we've got the error message coming up. Okay, and again we're going to print it off as it is, and we are done. Okay, so the data has been changed, we can print this off, and we have come to the end of this paper. So this was the 2021 paper. I hope this video is useful for you guys. Good luck if you have exams coming up. Take care. Please like, share and subscribe.